I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Welcome. I'm thrilled you're here with me today. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor, founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor aspiring and established VAs to create, grow, and scale their businesses. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and my coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit, which is my weekly live stream show that airs every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. And I'm going to be sharing tactical and practical advice for your virtual assistant business, no matter where you are in your journey. And I'd love to hear where you're coming in from, so let me know in the comments. So we are streaming all the places. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on X, and we are on YouTube. So if you are watching from YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you'll be notified every time we go live. We have over 700 videos over on our YouTube channel, so check it out. All right, so today we're going to talk about the myth of overnight success. You know, we see people, we compare ourselves to other people, and we actually think there is such a thing as overnight success. And that is, I'm going to say it. I think that's never true. You know, I think that's never true. And I want to know, and I want you to know that because it's actually going to help you. All right, it's actually going to help you. So hello, Tammy is here from Minnesota, and George is here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hello, Henry and Frederica in Amsterdam. Yvonne is here from California, and Pamela from Santee, California. Kathy's here. Hello, Jackie from Los Gatos. A good afternoon from Jane in England. Hello, Kay in the UK. All right, Linda's here from New Jersey, and Heather's here from Chattanooga. All right, all the people, all the places. Okay, good. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'm going to be watching the comments, and I would love to answer any questions you have about this topic. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself and keep letting me know who's joining us and where you're coming in from. All right, good. So this is me and my daughter Emily in 2010 when I was just starting my VA business, and my life had taken an unexpected turn. I was not where I wanted to be. I was a few months shy of my 50th birthday, and you know, I wasn't where I expected. When Emily was born, I left corporate after 17 years and I started my own business. But I was struggling to make it a success for more than 8 years, and I had to close the doors and start over. And when I looked up to figure out what to do next, I realized how far off track I'd gotten. So I'm getting divorced. I had to sell my home because I couldn't pay the mortgage. I needed to figure out how to make money. My credit cards were all maxed out, and I had years of back taxes that I had to pay and handle. And the result was I was stressed out all the time. And I wanted to get back on track, but I knew intuitively that I wasn't going to make enough money if I got a job. And I wasn't going to have the time flexibility that I was desperate for as a new, not a new mother, but as a mother, and knowing that I would only have one child. It's not that it's like less important if you have more kids, but it was like, this was my chance right now. And it was clear. And so I decided to return to my roots, and I decided to offer administrative support to entrepreneurs. And I was a secretary back in my 20s, and I really liked the work. I felt like I was pretty good at it. It felt natural to me. And so a successful entrepreneur told me the best way to start a business is just tell everybody you know. So I took his advice, and I got busy telling everyone I knew what I was up to. And the first client I met, I had known him for years. He was at the school bus stop. So I'm standing there with the moms and dads waiting for the bus to come with the kids. And he says, "What's new?" And I tell him what I'm doing. And we ended up working together because I didn't know that he had left corporate America too and started his own business, and he was drowning in administrative tasks. My second client I met in the buffet line of a wedding. So it's really just all about spreading the word. I didn't try to sell them anything. I didn't try to convince them why they needed to hire me. I simply stated what I was doing in a clear, simple way, and they happen to be interested. So the big takeaway here is, if you're prospecting, I want you to just stop, because that's not the way you're going to get the best clients, and it really is just a waste of time, and it feels pretty icky. All right, so do what I'm teaching you instead. Good. All right, so we've got Trisha here from Florida, Barb from Cleveland, Suzanne from Ontario, and Debbie is from Texas and is here. That's great. Great, great, great. So I leaned in and I started working with a coach. I started working with a mentor, and I made huge changes in my mindset. I started keeping my word to myself, something I had been very bad at. And I stepped out of my familiar comfort zone over and over and over. And the business that I built earned $70,000 in the first year. And for the next 10 years, I earned $100,000 or more for the next 10 years. And the systems that I developed and the methods that I used to build my own VA business are what I teach at the VA Connection. And I would love to teach you too. By staying the course and making consistency a core value in my life, today is a different picture. My finances are handled, no more minimum payments, no more getting by. I have a thriving business that I built one day at a time. And I got to be there for my daughter when she grew up, and I got to be able to breathe again. That was huge. And I married the man I've been looking for my whole life at 60. And here we are with all of our kids on our wedding day. And April of this year, just 2 weeks ago, really, Greg and I relocated to this farmhouse, which had been a long, long time dream. And this is how I got to where I was at 50 to where I am at 63 today. And how I got there is what we're going to talk about today. So let's jump in. So Tori's here. Hello, Tori. I'm just reading the comments. Okay, good. So it might seem like building a business or buying a house, it happened quickly from the outside. A lot of people said to me when we bought the house, oh my gosh, that was so fast. And I was like, what are you talking about? It wasn't fast. It's the process literally started 13 years ago, when I started to rebuild my credit, file my back taxes, pay my debt, learn how to be a successful business owner, and shift my mindset to believing a home was even a possibility. And it was very emotional. It was very messy, and none of it was easy. But I was really determined, and I have to say, my determination was tested daily. And the closer we got to it, the harder it was. And that's kind of crazy, just the whole process of the mortgage and my relationship with my husband, and deciding that relocating was a good idea and that this house was going to work for us, and all of the emotional stuff that happens. And my mortgage broker, I love her, she said to me when we were going through all the turmoil, she said, buying a house is it was something like 3% math and 97% emotion. And boy, is that true. It was so emotionally charged every step of the way. And, it's the same thing with being a business owner. The doubts, the fears, the wondering if it's going to work, the putting in the time, all the things, it doesn't just happen overnight, and it is a process that has to unfold over years. So even though I was making $100,000 the second year I was in business, that didn't mean I was on easy street. I still had to be consistent. I still had to write my newsletters. I still had to network. I still had to grow my list, all of those things. And I still had to stick with it, right? I still had to stick with it. So So just know that it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's just that this is what it takes. If everyone could snap their fingers and be a six-figure entrepreneur, everyone would probably be that, right? Everyone would probably be that who wanted to. And so you just have to keep that in mind. So the thing is that, so we start taking these trips to Virginia to look at houses. I went to AAA. We got this big map of Virginia. We drove all over the state. It took lots and lots of trips and lots of notes and figuring out the pros and cons of each place. And it's like but from the outside, it looks effortless. So how many of you see other virtual assistants and you think, it's so easy for them. It's so easy for them. It's just happened. It just happened overnight. Um, I want you to know that if you actually talk to that person, they'll likely tell you a different story. It's a gradual process. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't start making money immediately, right? It doesn't mean that you can't, have a system, but it doesn't mean that you can't start making money easily, right away, is what I'm trying to say. But the thing is that the whole system of the business takes time. Getting your website up and your payment processing set up, and finding the right networking events, and all of those things. It's a gradual process, and I know some of you want to get all of it handled before you tell anyone about your business, and that is definitely a recipe for disaster. So what you want to do is you want to grow that email list between 1 and 3 names a week. That's how I grew my list. There was, yes, in the beginning, there was a big push. I sat at my dining room table for probably a week and went through every single person that I knew and told them about my business. But here's the good news. The good news is that when you do that, I was afraid, there's 2 sides of the coin. You tell everyone you know and no one hires you. You tell everyone you know and everyone wants to work with you. And we're afraid of both at the same time, which completely paralyzes us, right? It completely paralyzes us, but it doesn't happen that way. And you have control. So if 6 people decide they want to work with you on one day, you get to decide who you're going to work with, when it's going to work out, how you're going to manage it. And if you're part of my community, I'm here to help you 100%. So just keep that in mind. So the things that you want to do to consistently build your business is to publish your newsletter between every other week, every 3 weeks, every month, but definitely not less than once a month to get the word out, right? And then you want to attend online networking and in-person networking. And the question that I ask myself every single day is, who else can I tell? Who else can I tell? Yeah. Yeah. And Debbie says after 4 years, she's still trying to grow in different areas. Now, the key here is to do the things that move the needle, right? There's so many things we can do. We can get an EIN, we can get a business bank account, we can do a lot of things that feel productive and sort of officially putting us in business. But the key to the whole thing is telling everyone you know and growing your network. That is how you're going to build a business. So it takes time, meaning to build a strong foundation. It absolutely takes time, but it doesn't take time to get started. You can do that right away. Okay. And I have to say, there is nothing more satisfying than looking back and celebrating the long road. Building my website, figuring out my logo, all of those things I took care of while I was telling everyone about my business. It's funny because I didn't have the debit card system all set up when I got my first client. He wrote me a check and that was fine, right? And then I tried different payment methods over time and they didn't work. And finally I arrived probably in the second year on the debit card system, and I've been using that ever since. But not having all of that in place, all of that does is it just lights a fire under you. Like, okay, I got to handle this thing. The checks are, I don't want to get paid by check. That takes too long in the mail. So I've got to figure out credit card processing. Okay, let me figure it out. And you just jump in and put the systems in place you need as you go. Okay. So there is no better time than to get started right now. This is a thriving, growing industry, and I would love to help you. So definitely, if you're not a member already, join our Facebook group, the VA Connection. We just hit 36,000 members. It's very exciting. Head on over to the blog, also at thevaconnection.com. We have hundreds of articles over there, all about getting started as a virtual assistant, and I would love for you to check them out and learn all the tips and tricks on how to make this work. All right, good. So thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here today, and I'll see you next time at the same time. Bye for now.